tech skills gap in volatility. And in today's session, we will be talking about what's causing the tech skills gap and how to effectively close the tech skills gap. And to discuss this, we've got two credible speakers. The first one is Ed Sattar. He's been into the ed tech industry for over 2 decades, and accompanying him is Joseph Winters. He is the director, product manager, and he also owns the CLIPP platform that we'll be demoing at the end of the session. So, what's causing the tech skills gap? Ed would be covering that, and I'll let Ed do his introduction. So, over to you, Ed.
Folks, I've been in the ed tech space for about for 20 years, as Shane had mentioned. Been in the from compliance to workforce development to career training to higher education. Wrote several e-learning standards that are still in play for various regulators and technology standards organizations. Happy to be here. Let's dive right into the topic at hand. It's the gaps, the tech skills gap in VUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, and then really what are the tools out there, and what should be and how should you mitigate those risks? So according to Gartner, even before COVID, so boards had ranked digital technology disruption as one of their top business priorities for 2020. Now this is pre-COVID, and followed by securing technology talent. So both in hand were a hot topic and a top priority for the top business leaders for 2020. But COVID has provided a tailwind and accelerated the speed and the scale of digital transformation, and the lack of digital and tech skills could really jeopardize companies' misalignment and talent plans. So by some estimates, the response to this pandemic has fast forwarded tech and digital skills by 5 years, believe it or not. So this is a massive skill set shift and has created urgent pressure on HR leaders to work with their CEOs and CIOs and functional leaders and IT managers to rethink skills needs as business models change at the speed of light, really. So here's if you could see this chart by Gartner. These skills really include engineering, digital transformation specialist, Microsoft Azure, AWS, security, computer science, data analysts, and tech infrastructure professionals, to name a few. So that's what we mean by tech skills gap and the talent for digital transformation. So let's go to the next slide. Let's see. Okay, so we are now living in the world of VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And this is when leadership comes into play in coming to terms with the new reality, and then how do you seize the opportunities that lie ahead of us? So most companies are flying the data blind with regards to tech skills. Tech skills, and they need for the transformation demand. And so in essence, they're really not looking at data, and they're data blind with respect to making a lot of decisions with their tech talent, as the demand for digital transformation has been increasing at an increasing rate as a result of COVID. So many leaders are ill-equipped to manage the skill set shift, to put it mildly, because I talked to a lot of technical, a lot of leaders in multiple disciplines. And the very business leaders who have already lagged really in making the digital leap are often the same ones we're depending on to hire and develop future forward strategies to cope up with this change. So those are the leaders are pretty, that they need to be paying more attention to this. So if senior leaders don't solve this puzzle, they won't be able to deploy and align the right type of amount of skills to address the shifts in the work trends and processes and organizational structure that fuels the digital transformation in the VUCA world. So Gartner reported Gartner reported in its 2018 Shifting Skills Survey. If you guys ever get a chance to Google it, feel free to Google it. And in that report says that 70% of employees haven't mastered the skills they need for their jobs today. And 80% say they lack the skills they need both for their current and future roles. So it's violently clear there's a huge tech skills gap that can be only closed with continuous training, learning, and certification, and continuous enablement of your people. Also, besides COVID push, like healthcare professionals, realtors, and insurance professionals, they all have to take continuing education, right? So they don't commit malpractice, right? So malpractice comes from when you're dealing with people, dealing with your profession, you want to make sure you're on top of your game and current with the trends so you can do your work and serve your customers better. Well, why our tech talent should be treated any differently? Just because there's no regulation to do that, or government regulation or state regulation to do that, that doesn't mean it should not be required. It could mean, in my opinion, it should almost be like an internal mandate for organizations to have a continuous learning, to keep on reskilling and upskilling your people. So the time to invest in developing skills and reskilling is now to make sure they're able to work on projects that are tied to company goals. Now I'll hand it off to Joseph, who can show you how to really automate the process of assessing IT competencies of your employees against business projects and goals, and then create a personalized learning path mapped to goals. Joseph, over to you.
All right, thanks everybody. So, the way QuickStart can help close those technology skill gaps, including the ability to identify where your weaknesses and strengths are, and really prepare and educate you through upskilling, is really through our learning platform. And this is what I have up on the screen right now. We call it CLIPP, and it's really unlike any other platform where we completely personalize your learning experience based on your goals, your skill sets, and really where you want to achieve certification and growth. That ultimately takes the guessing out of where you may need to rely on others or even yourself on identifying those skill gaps. So here I am logged in, and there's a lot to see here, right? There's some learning paths, there's a library, and when you have all of these learning moments, it can really cloud up what it is you're trying to accomplish to achieve your goals. So in our CLIPP platform, we put everybody through what's called personalization, the very first thing you see when you come into our platform. And personalization allows a few steps for you to really identify key goals, skill sets, to cater that learning or to personalize that learning experience into what it is you need to achieve. This first screen right here is asking about what my goals and objectives are. I have a few that I've already outlined. Implementing cloud security in a cloud environment, migrating infrastructure to Azure, integrate Active Directory on Azure. Let's put another one in here. I want to learn more about Kubernetes and containers. And you can see as I'm adding these goals, we're really looking at each goal through natural language processing and utilizing what we call our adaptive learning engine to see what are the skills, what are the technologies, and how are you identifying them in your goals, and what can we take from that to learn more about you. From those key words and skill sets, we actually render what's called a skill tree. You know, skills can fall under different areas of technologies. For instance, if you're really big on cloud, you may not want to know anything about Azure, but you may want to know more about AWS, right? Or you may be more focused on Google Cloud. Whatever that may be, similar technologies can fall under larger buckets of technologies and topics. So what we've done is we've come in here and we allow you to identify where at in the skill tree you either already know or want to know more about, so we can further personalize the experience and close the gaps. The last part of it is taking those said competencies and subjects and really telling us where you sit with them. Do you know a little bit about them? Do you know a lot about them? You know, are you a complete expert in the field? What is it you think you are with a self-assessment? That way we can really fine-tune the results. After we ask those three different questions, we now are ready to give you a personalized learning plan. And you can see from this, here's my training plan with my results. I can see that out of what I asked, I have 123 courses in cloud computing, some in DevOps, some in information security, and overall total library. And we've rendered you 10 dynamic learning paths, and I'll get into those in just a second. So these are my results. I'm going to go ahead and go to my dashboard now. And this is going to cater that learning experience. It's going to take QuickStart's really large library of technology training. I think it's upwards of either 1,200 or 1,500 courses, and really weed it down into what is now relevant for me. This is my learning dashboard, and there's several areas. I'll go over each one real quickly. The first section being learning. Learning provides you with structured learning paths as well as unstructured courses. So if I want to come in here and try to do a search for, let's say, an Azure course, I could do a search for Azure, and it would bring up the results for Azure. Now I'm going to clear this search out, and I'm going to spend some time showing you what our dynamic learning paths are. Dynamic learning paths are rendered based on what it is you identified your skill sets as, either being beginner or expert, and your goals. So for instance, I can open up this Microsoft Azure learning path. And our learning paths are structured in easy, intermediate, and advanced. We give three different levels of a way to learn. And the learning experience can be blended. You can have a few self-paced courses here. You can have some virtual instructor-led. But as I scroll down, you can see there's a lot of courses in the beginner tier of Microsoft Azure. That's why we offer pre-assessments and post-assessments. So I can come into this assessment right here. I can answer the questions. I haven't started this one. I can start the assessment. And by the end of this assessment, after I've taken it, I'll get a score, and it will actually dynamically change this learning path and get rid of courses you may not need, add ones you may need to focus on, and really fine-tune this larger learning path into what it is you need to take to achieve. So let's go ahead and click on a course just so we can see what a course looks like. I'm going to click on this Getting Started with Azure. Right? Here's what our courses look like. We have a lot of options. Just besides starting the course, we have some different unique features about our platform. One is our bite-sized learning. We've taken a really deep look into our modules of our courses, and indexed and transcribed video, slides, etc., that allow users to really look for specific keywords and topics, so that they don't have to take the whole course to learn specifically what it is they're trying to accomplish. The next thing is informal learning. We've actually gone out on the web, scraped several quality sources, whether it's Stack Overflow, YouTube, other technology sites, news, blogs, all sorts, and really mapped those different articles, videos, and resources specific to what it is this course is about. And I can actually gain credit by looking at some of these other informal learning bits. Aside from this, we have analytics on the courses as well, what my status is, how long I'm taking, so on and so forth. That's our general structure for a course. So let's get out of this and go into the learning library here. You can see that our platform really adopts quite a few different learning types. You can take a boot camp, a certification, a course, and then we offer self-paced as well as virtual instructor-led. I could even go into a course. I have a course here that I'm going to search for. It's called MD100, which is a Windows 10 course. Open it up. And we even have labs, right? So you can come in, start your course, and if you need that hands-on experience where you need a virtual environment to do the different tutorials within the course, we have labs as well. Okay. A really other cool feature about our platform, and the really the way to get help when you need it is through coaching. A lot of our courses have what's called coaches, and let me just bring up a Transact SQL course. If I open up this course right here, you can see that I've actually, I've completed this course, so I can download my certificate. You see also you can schedule a live coaching session with a particular coach that's an expert in this field. So I can actually come in here, schedule a 15, 30, or 60-minute session with this coach and really get a one-on-one with questions that I may have about this particular course or specific subjects within this course. That's really our learning experience. There's so many different learning delivery methods, types that we focus on, and we really give you a broad range of different types. But what I also kind of touched on each one was informal learning. So we have different tabs, and so informal learning kind of takes and lumps all of our resources into one tab. So I'm going to do a search for Internet of Things. I can actually bring up all the different topics for Internet of Things, and I can filter if I'm looking for a video, if I want to see where the source came from, whether it was Wikipedia or YouTube or so on and so forth. I can turn those on and off, and I can sit here and actually mark it as complete. So if I click into this and launch it, which I'm not going to watch the whole thing, I can watch the video and I can mark it as complete. I can go ahead and mark it as maybe a video, right? I can tell it what topic. I can say the time spent. I can give a little note about it. And I actually gain credit for these learning moments, these informal learning moments with my manager or my organization that I'm a part of. The next section is collaborate. Collaborate allows us to kind of have the spaces, if you will, and timelines, just like Facebook, where you can come in, you can ask questions, you can see other instructors, other students in the stream. You can follow it, you can invite others. It's your typical social environment for asking questions for different topics, skills, and courses we have mapped to these different discussion boards. The next area is Expert Connect. All of these areas that I'm showing you, by the way, are personalized based on what I said my goals and skill sets are. So everybody you see here in each section, or the content you see in each session, is specific to what it is I stated in my goals. In this particular tab, Expert Connect, I can see authors, instructors, consultants, other coaches that I may want to network with, get more information about, click on them, see what areas of expertise they are. Everybody gets the opportunity to do this in our platform, read more about them, send them a message, follow them in their discussions, so on and so forth. And then the last major tab is a calendar tab. You know, one of the things that QuickStart is known for is our virtual instructor-led. So we have a live calendar of sessions that are happening each month. You can come in here, you can look at what the live sessions are, you can click on a session, and you can enroll if you wanted to enroll by simply selecting an upcoming date and enrolling now right here in your dashboard. This puts you directly into the class, and you're good to go. It's really an overview of our learning portion of our platform. The last area I'll kind of touch bases on that really showcases how you're going to identify and close those gaps is with our insights. So the more you learn, the more you utilize our platform, the more you spend really understanding what it is you need to do to hit your goals, you really need some sort of a map or some guidance. So what we do is we have something called readiness down here. And what readiness does is it takes your goals, each individual goal that I've identified, and it tells me where I'm at. You can see that right here, my little icon's at 0% for goal 2 and goal 3. It's because I haven't really been focused much on it. The more I take courses, learning paths, informal learning, interact on the social platforms of or the social aspects of our platform, like the spaces or the Expert Connect, the more I will grow in my readiness of this goal, and the more I should realistically know or be able to achieve with said goal. So the more you interact, the more skills that you are actually exposed to, the more you will grow. And you can actually then track your readiness and see where you are. Additionally, we do a breakdown of each and every skill set that may be mapped to not only your goals, but the different courses you are interacting with, and really give you a granular level, whether it's Azure, Active Directory, pretty much all of the skill sets that are involved with each and every course above and beyond your goals. So you can see where you're at with each level or where you should be. And we stack rank you against others in the community as well. Lastly is your area of interest. With all that said, your goals, your readiness. We also have, we also kind of track where your areas of interest are. Technology can really be placed in several different buckets, top-level buckets, whether it's cloud computing, big data, app dev. Our IT library of learning covers a large variety of these major buckets. And the more you interact, the more you learn, the more we know where your head is at, and we can predict where it is your area of interest may be. And if it tends to not be, it gives you a really good insight into saying, well, maybe I need to tweak what I'm doing, or tweak my goals, or tweak my skill sets to really get me focused on my area of interest that I should be. And that is that's how we determine the skill gaps of the goals. And I'll end it with that.